Hello and welcome to another episode of The Laws of Minecraft with me, LawFromChaos. Okay, so today we are continuing our build here, and today we're going to be focusing on the cathedral roof. As you can see, it's partially completed. I'm just going to be showing you how all of this has been done, and we're going to finish it up. Alright, so let's just take a quick turn around and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going with a very basic stair type design for the sides here, and then I'm doing something else here. This is essentially going to be a room. It'll be closed by the time we're finished, but we'll be doing some other things with it, so it will not remain so. And then this section right here, we will not be extending across the full build. This is actually part of the front tower. So it'll be a tower. There'll probably be a series of them on here, but we will not be continuing everything across. So, to start with, let me just show you how to make everything over here. Okay, so we're on the other side here. As you can tell, I have not completed the base part over here, and so I just wanted to show you how we did it and why. And so I wanted to leave essentially one chuck worth of space on each side, with the middle space containing 15. Now, because, as you may recall from my earlier videos, or if this is your first one, I'll show you, this one is one shy of a chunk, and I did that specifically so that we would know it was 16, 15, 16. And this one here is at the chunk line. So this one just goes simply to the chunk lines. And we're going to be doing this with the filler. So we're going to go like that, and then go like so. And we're not going to go all the way to the edge because we've already got this right here. So if we wanted to build this up one more higher, we would have just built the entire thing up higher. That one block. And so what we're going to be doing with the filler this time is actually what's called a stair mode. Now, I showed this very briefly to you, but I'm going to get a little bit more into it obviously here. Now, obviously, like all the other ones, the stair can be a multi-dimensional one, and you can go as high as you want. It's only going to build the stair up as high as it's capable of going. Though I suspect in this case we probably got it about perfect. So we're just going to lock that onto the bottom. And as you can see, we're using this without a redstone signal. You don't need a redstone signal if you're measuring things carefully. It's just useful to do, especially over larger distances. And so we're going to put the filler down. And I just moved that where I couldn't use it. Alright, so all those go away. Okay. Perfect. Now, it's on fill mode, and if we did that, all we'd end up with was a giant block, so not what we want right now. So we're going to set it to the stair one, the one that looks like two triangular sections. And so we're going to do that, and we're going to give it power. And the rest of the power. Alright, and of course we also have to give it blocks. I'm just going to give it a couple of these. And as you can see, it's building it right up for us, and it's finished before you know it. And so you can see actually here, it's still got one block higher than this available, but it didn't build it there because it only builds the staircase that it maximum can within the space. So it only builds like one complete. So it's not going to end up doing anything like having a partially built stair like starting right here and ending up there. So that is actually useful to know and useful for building. Alright, so we're going to just retrieve everything. Okay, so now I've already gone ahead and done this over on this side for you guys. So we don't want to see the same thing over again, just mirrored it. All done exactly the same way. Now, okay, I want to fill in this central section, right? Now, there's a couple ways I could do this. I could do this via this tesseract and, just kind of get everything done that way with the filler and just do all that. But you can also do it another way, and it's, at this point, just as fast. And that is with the builder's wand. That's some extra utilities made with unstable ingots, and so can be slightly difficult to craft, but are very useful. What you can do is if you're looking at a block, it will attempt to place down blocks that are in your inventory in the configuration it thinks is most appropriate, and it only does it, of course, with a type that's matching. So it'll put marble down, for example. It's not going to put out dirt or anything else. Now, like for example, if you're looking at the sides here, it's just going to think, oh, that should probably be a square. But if you press Shift, it actually turns it into a line, and so they have more than one mode. And so if I end up putting on here, and if I press Shift, I think it just turns it off in this case. It goes, you must not be doing what I think you're doing. or it turns into a single block, but it can also turn to a line, so it's got lots of options. But generally, it can put down a maximum of 9 blocks. Now, if you can get a creative one, those can go quite a few more blocks. I'm not entirely certain how much, because I can't get one at the moment. I suppose I could try it out in my own single-player world, but most people are going to be restricted to 9, so let's work with that. Alright, so up we go. Oop, and I ended up going up one higher than I would normally want. That's okay, I'm actually going to be wanting that there anyway. But for now, we'll leave it. But it's easy to make that kind of mistake. But so we're just going to take this up, and again, you can just actually just kind of hold it down. I'm holding it down now, just flying upwards. Now, one thing to be careful of is on these edges, it may try, for example, like I'm doing this, to fill in everything, which you don't actually want. And so you may end up doing some of the edges by hand, which is fine. Worst things have happened. Alright, so we've done this just a little section by hand, but it's all finished. So now we got a lovely cross section here, as you can see. And now, so that's the basic part of the roof here. Now, I'm going to just kind of show you what I've done over here, and we're going to end up copying this over here. So we're going to be having the roof, but we're also going to be having a central section which goes upwards. A number of cathedrals have this. I've seen them. I'm not entirely certain what the particular pattern is called, but I happen to like it. So it's going to be here, and then it's actually going to have a separate roof section. But this part's a tower, so I don't have that set up just yet. So we're going to be leaving the separate staircase-like roof that'll probably end up being on this thing alone for the moment. We're going to be copying this over. Now, this whole thing is right here. It's at 117, while the bottom down there is at 72. So it's 55 blocks tall. So not a small structure. $117, and again, one block up, but again, we'll be doing a much similar pattern to that, so it doesn't matter. So we're just going to bring this over until we hit there. Perfect. And now I believe this is 9 blocks up. Well, we can just do it with me, you can tell me. So it's already up 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yep, 9 blocks up. Lovely. So we're just going to take this along the rest of the way here. We're going to take that like that. And now one thing to do, if you're trying to use a builder's wand, and you're trying to do it on a flat surface, like I showed you, sometimes it troubles the contours of that surface, and it's not doing exactly what you would like. It does weird things around these edges, because it's like trying to find more shape. It's like, well, I'm trying to fill this in, I don't know what you want. One way to do this, which is very easy, so it will do what you want, is just to give it a little bit more. If you go 1 block out, it'll actually follow this particular angle. It'll go 9 blocks out. Now, if you're too far on one side or the other, it may not do the full 9 blocks. So generally best to make sure you are in that middle 5th block. Usually if you're on the 4th or something, it doesn't matter. But like 3rd, it starts mattering. So if you see what I mean, look, and it goes up and it follows that beautifully. So we're just going to go on the 5th one just to show you what I'm talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Now I'm going to deliberately go back without watching what's happening, what my numbers are. And I'll show you what happens occasionally, so you don't have to worry about it. Just, you know what it is. You know to keep an eye on things. So for the moment, we're just going to do this. But you can see we're progressing very quickly. We're playing down blocks really, really fast. No way you could match this. Oh, and now it happened. Excellent. See, as you can see, we placed 1 block, but we didn't place the other 8. That's because we ran out. And so when this happens, one thing you do want to do is just make sure that you fix it first before you continue on, because otherwise you'd just be filling in that one. So, for example, you can do 4 there and 4 there. Perfect. And now we go back to our middle section here, and we're just going to check on our marble a little bit every so often just to make sure we're not running out. So now every click this time is putting down 9. So as you can imagine, you're going through stacks pretty dang fast. stack is only 64. So you can only get through a few of them. So as you can see, we're going through, and one thing to do is just, like I said, just keep check, so you don't have to fix it quite so often. One thing else you want to do, you don't want to go on the side, because if you do end up going on the side, suddenly you feel nose 9 instead. Very easy to do, so generally you want to make sure you just are only going backwards if you can. See? There you go. Now if you can't fly, then you have obviously different options. So you might have to be above this, for example, and be pressing shift. But the problem with shift is that it will often trigger issues with it. It'll do different behavior if you're pressing shift, and so it can be a little tricky. I still got mine. Okay, good. And we should be meeting up with the other part here pretty fast. Oh, there we are. So we got 2. Now we just click on the middle one, and it's all joined together. And I've already filled out the pattern that I want to have on there on this, so I'm just going to go from this end all the way back. So it is not as much a waste of space as you might think to do it on both sides, because then you can just go and do both at the same time. Oop. Aha. See, this does occasionally happen. It's obnoxious when it does, but it does. This is why you check, though, on your minimap if you got one. I wish there was an option to click on this and have it extend outline, but I don't know of one at the moment. Okay, so we got that laid out, and we can continue onwards. We just want to make sure we go up there. So this time we're going to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to check when we have this one highlighted that it's got that one. Okay, so it does. So we're going to be leaving that one behind, but it's okay. We'll be finishing that as we come back with something else. Yeah, if you end up not seeing a part isn't being completed, it's better that it be not completed like this on a side where you're going to be adding other things to later, because then you can just pick it up as you go by later anyway. Okay, so we're just going to continue. Oop, and we ran out of marble again. Happens a lot. Looks like we're actually going to have to go refill it pretty soon here. So, yeah, this time you'll see we ended up with the 3. It always seems to do whatever's in the center rather than pick one of the sides or anything. So, center stuff gets filled in. I wish this tool were configurable so you could set it to I want 9. I always wanted to do a line, just that kind of stuff. That, if they ever did that, would make this tool about twice as effective as it currently is. So we're going to continue this, and we're just going to keep an eye on our marble supply while we do this, because I don't think we have enough to make it all the way across. Yeah, we're running out pretty fast here. Okay, and we even got 9, so it's going to be perfect. Alright, so we're going to just go refill this real fast. Okay. So I ran home, grabbed marble, all topped off again. I was going to say tanked up and topped off. I don't know. Tank is topped off? Something like that. Bad metaphors combining. Okay. So we're just going to continue along. And I kind of wanted to show you this process in full. Normally I would cut this out, but I just wanted to show you how fast we can actually make everything, because we are going along quite quickly. Yeah, even without me cutting it out, this is not taking that long, and we are building a truly massive build. And so this is one of the significant advantages of doing this way. Now you could also do the filler with this approach, obviously, and do it in just long single lines. Now if there was a hollow stairs option or something, that might be possible, but there ain't. So at this point, this is the fastest option. Now for this section here, it might be worth using a filler to do it instead, but I think it's going to be equally fast to do it this way. So we just kind of go along. take it back. It probably would be faster to run this with a filler. Oh. This way, I don't know. With a filler, I would have to stop in the middle of this process more than just this. I would actually have to set up my landmarks and do this over several times. So it's a toss-up as far as that goes. Yeah, we can see. I mean, there's a lot of Cathedral beneath us down there. Yeah, I wish it would keep all those sides and stuff loaded, but it doesn't, so we live. Worse things have happened. Yeah, you will see. We just kind of missed a single thing on here, so we're just going to come to it every now and then and tell it to fill itself in. Seems to lag whenever I do that. Something to do with the calculations, I guess. It might be faster if I did it like this. Just kind of like that, and then like that. Still quite fast, as you can see. Trying to make sure we don't leave any gaps. Okay, that looks good. So, now we just need to extend the rest of it across. Yeah, this, by the way, if you happen to have World Edit, this is the time to use it. These lovely flat tasks. Actually, if you guys ever want me to, I can do a complete guide on World Edit too. I am quite good at that. All this building is being done completely by hand, but doesn't mean I cannot do World Edit. You know, I was the professional builder for a server, and I've also run my own server and built spawn and everything else, so I've had to be able to build everything. And trust me when I say World Edit is an absolute lifesaver, and I could have built this building in about, well, I mean, to say half the time is a substantial overstatement of the amount of time it would have required me. It would require a lot less. Now, as we start doing fine detail like artwork and other things, it becomes a lot less useful. But this is not to say that it has no use. It's just less so, as they say. Okay, so we're just going to, once again, continue along. La da 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 da. And at this point, since we're just doing exactly what we've already been doing, just filling it up, I'm just going to do it off camera, and I'll just show you when this part's finished. And after that, we'll be closing out this video, and then I'll be bringing you back for the next part. Okay, I finished that section. One thing I did want to point out when I'm about to do this one, there's a reason I did it from that edge over, because that part was already completed, because I can actually tell it to do this. So it all is done at once, so I'm not doing just like a small tiny section. And to be honest, it doesn't matter, because either way I could do it like this and then just do those three, or I could do it like this and then do the three down there, but I like it. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so we're back, and we're just taking a quick look at This right now, it's finished. All that has been completed. And so we're going to be continuing to work on our details, and as we continue along, we'll be actually working on more and more detail work. Like this is rough structural stuff at the moment, obviously. It's a roof. And according to my current calculations, looking at it, it has 37,076 pieces of marble in it, including this front piece right here, and the little tiny bits I've taken out for the door, here and in back. I might have miscalculated here or there, but roughly 37,000 pieces of marble in it at the moment. So it's a big building. So, now whatever you're doing, you may be using it out of marble or just stone or whatever, but make sure you have plenty of it on hand if you're not just doing it creative, okay? Alright, this is LawFromChaos signing off. I'll see you guys in my next episode with whatever else we're going to be focusing on. And I'll see you then.